Okay, let's dive right in. In a world that's changing, I mean really changing, faster than ever, how do you build an edge that's truly irreplaceable? We're not just talking about surviving the future of work, we're talking about thriving in it. This explainer is all about finding that unique value that only you can offer. And this right here is the big question on everyone's mind. As AI gets smarter and smarter, what can we possibly offer that a machine can't? Well, the answer isn't about competing head-on with an algorithm. It's about a complete shift in perspective, a journey to discover what makes each of us uniquely, powerfully human. So where do we start? Well, the search for that value follows two really powerful and complementary paths. First, we're going to look outward, analyzing the world around us for those hidden opportunities that pretty much everyone else overlooks. Then, we're going to turn that lens inward to decode the unique creative signature that only you possess. Okay, first up, let's look outward. To really see how this works in practice, we're going to follow a fascinating deep dive into a super surprising trend, the return of DIY real estate. It's the perfect case study for finding incredible opportunities where most people see, well, nothing at all. You know, this whole DIY trend has had a really interesting life. In Japan, about 20 years ago, there was this huge media-driven boom for it. But it kind of fizzled out. It was just way too much work for the average homeowner. But now it's back, and with a completely new purpose. It's a strategy for savvy, small-scale investors to snap up older properties on the cheap, fix them up themselves, and absolutely maximize their return. So what's the real secret sauce within this trend? Well, it boils down to two really clever strategies. First, targeting properties that basically scare everyone else away. You know, the places that are psychologically avoided just because of some cosmetic issues. And second, finding a hyper-specific niche, like creating the absolute perfect home for factory workers in a remote area. See? It's all about seeing value where other people only see problems. Okay, so finding those hidden opportunities in the world, that's one half of the equation. The other half, well, it requires us to look inward. Now we're shifting gears from analyzing the market to analyzing ourselves, to uncover what's been called our creative DNA. Just think about the creator Tokahisa. He had this amazing realization that his true value wasn't in any single skill he had, but in his unique ability to blend his entire personal history, everything, into something totally new. He calls this mixing body senses. And this isn't about being a jack of all trades, it's about creating a fusion of who you are that is literally impossible to copy because it's uniquely you. For him, it started with his background. He grew up with a Portuguese accent in his Japanese. And over time, he said the meaning of the words started to fade, but the unique sound, the feel of it, that's what stuck with him. This actually led him to focus on the sound color of music, not just the lyrics. He realized his core strength was blending all these influences, not trying to master them separately. And that's such a powerful lesson. Our seemingly random histories, they're the very building blocks of our unique identity. So what happens when you combine that outward analysis with this deep inward intuition? You get something that AI just can't touch. And there's this fascinating story, a sort of contest between a professional bike fitter and an AI that shows us exactly why. Okay, so imagine an AI trained to perfectly replicate a professional's bike fitting process. It analyzes all the angles, crunches all the data points, and honestly, it gets remarkably close. But it completely misses the human element. The professional, on the other hand, sees those subtle cues of discomfort. They anticipate future pain under physical strain, and they offer guidance that goes so far beyond just the numbers on a screen. And this is it. This is where our value truly lies. It's in that nuanced, emotional, and physical understanding that machines simply cannot replicate. It's the ability to read the room, to feel what another person is feeling. You could almost call it the human algorithm. All right, so how do we actually cultivate this uniquely human value? This all sounds great, right? But what's the practical framework? Well, the key isn't just to work harder at what we already know. It's about systematically exploring the parts of ourselves that we don't even know exist yet. The framework for this starts with a pretty radical idea. You have to dramatically increase the number of small experiments you run. So, how many more? Not 2 or 3. The answer is 100. 100 times more attempts than you think you need. This isn't about finding one big success. It's about the sheer volume and velocity of learning. And what this high-volume experimentation does is it opens up your unknown window.
By constantly putting yourself out there, sharing what you're doing, and actually seeking out feedback, you start to illuminate your own blind spots. Each tiny experiment chips away at the unknown, revealing what's described as a treasure mountain of potential that was totally invisible before. Not just to you, but to everyone else too.
So here's the crucial takeaway. Game-changing growth, it doesn't come from one giant leap of faith. It comes from hundreds of small, courageous experiments that reveal who you truly are and what you can become. And that leaves us with just one simple, powerful question. What small experiment will you run today?